What's that show you told me to watch? What was the name of it?
Physical with Rose Byrne. It was really good, dude.
I bet it was.
Aside from the fact that, she's gorgeous. Like, she's a great actress.
Oh, she's married to Bobby Cannavale? Hey, that dude's packing heat. I forget what show it was on. He was either on Vinyl, which I quite liked, or Boardwalk Empire, but he had a nude scene.
Yeah, but they give them all prosthetics, dude.
They get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah, dude. Almost every single penis you see in a show or a movie is a prosthetic. You didn't know that? That's why nobody has a small penis in movies, bro, because they all have fake cocks.
Every dick is a prosthetic penis.
Probably not every single one, okay? There might be the occasional guy who's lucky enough to not need it.
Do you recall a scene that had a prosthetic dick that you could point me to?
Yeah, I can, but only because it was called out as a prosthetic penis.
Mike, are you in denial? I think you're in denial, dude. Like,
no,
it's okay. There's a world of big dicks out there.
I have read this.
And we may not be amongst those trees. We may be saplings in a forest of oak.
Okay, yes, I accept this, okay? But I'm sorry, there is no way that every single guy who has ever had a nude scene has a big dick.
No,
it's
listen,
just
but
it is not possible.
That's why they're okay with it. They got big schlongs.
Dude, it's not.
I'm certain the guys with small wee-wees like, I ain't fucking doing that. Nope. Nopey nope.
And guess
what?
Barbie
Cannavale's like,
guess what happens?
Yeah, I'm
they say, you know what they say? They say, what if we give you a prosthetic dick? And they're like, what? And they say, we will give you a prosthetic.
Where did you get this information from?
Dude, I don't know. I read it somewhere, man.
I know you got insider info. Was this something Ray told you?
No.
He sit you on the knee when you're a young lad like, Michael, don't worry. It's all prosthetic dicks out there.
Jesus
Really,
Christ.
Dad? Yeah. Most people have a small wee-wee.
Chris Hemsworth in Vacation.
Yeah, but that was done on purpose as a funny gag.
Channing Tatum in The Vow. Hodor
showed the schlong in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, like one of the first episodes when they're hanging out somewhere and Hodor comes running up butt naked and he's just like, Hodor, his schlong dangling around like
it was flopping like a real sausage.
Yeah.
So that was fake. Is that what you're saying?
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
It's good to have you around for these type of things, Mike. You're like a hall of records of dongage. I just see. I don't even. I can just see like a homicide detective style board of penises, like with lines drawn, X'd out. Fake.
Fucking hate you.
The truth
Troy.
is out there.
Shut up. Shut up.
No,
you fucking asshole.
It is. I am not below average. I will prove it. You're
such a prick.
In a world of bad movies, two follically challenged men will stop at nothing to share their opinions of them. Their wives are tired of listening. But are you? This isn't the podcast you deserve, but it's the one you need. Prepare yourself for Bald Guys and Bad Movies.
Welcome. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us once again for Bald Guys and Bad Movies. I am your illustrious host, co-host, in fact, Michael Stella. And
I'm
with
Troy.
Me, Mr. Troy. Sorry. Yeah, I think he was copying
Troy.
me.
Hey, I'm here.
It sounded
last
like me
time you said Michael, so I think I'm just gonna. Whoever doesn't introduce, they get to say their name really quickly. So
yeah, quickly or weird or whatever you want to do. Yeah. So welcome. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for wasting some time with us, listening to a couple of blowhards bullshit about movies for a little while. This is episode 11. Man, episode 11.
It's lucky number 7. Does 11 have any kind of lore behind it?
Yeah, you win on 7 or 11 on the when you're coming out. You know what I mean? So either way, which is funny because then I'm pretty sure you lose on 7 or 11 for the rest of the game. I've always thought that was weird about craps.
And funnily, if you go to 7-Eleven and eat there, you get the craps.
Well, shit, 7-Eleven in like Japan and Korea and stuff. Apparently, they're like a whole different thing. Like they're like gourmet They have like gourmet 7-Elevens in
Are they
Japan.
called 7-Eleven?
I'm pretty sure they're called 7-Eleven.
Like it's the brand.
It's the brand. Yeah. Pretty neat, I will say. Anyways,
I don't know if I eat a sushi roll from a 7-Eleven, but
well, apparently they got all
over there,
sorts of shit. Yeah.
If it's great, there's some mental gymnastics I would have to do.
Anyways, back to why we are here. Tonight, we will be talking about the amazingly awesome Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland film, Uncharted. What a great movie. I just loved it. It was so good.
Now, let me let me share this with our listeners. So when we're trying to figure out what we're going to review this week, I saw Uncharted back in February, right? I haven't seen it since, and I thought for a second I would want to rewatch it to refresh my mind, and I just couldn't bring myself to rent it for $6. It's not even the $6. It's not even the money.
I don't blame you, dude. In fact, I watched it like 3 days ago, and I'm still not too sure exactly what happened in that movie.
So, spoiler alert, well, it sounds like we may be on the same page. I don't know what Mike thinks, but it
was bad. This one stands up to the name of the show. It's definitely a bad movie. Definitely.
It's not very good. I do have one positive.
I will say this. I would recommend if, like, there is nothing else on and you just don't feel like looking for anything and it pops up on, like, HBO Max or something, you don't got to pay for it, sure. Throw it on.
Is it worth a $6 rental?
No, it's definitely not worth a rental, but it is worth, maybe a couple hours of your time. It's at least worth the first half hour to where you can decide whether or not you want to waste any more time on it. You know what I mean?
So let me pose another question. Is it worth it to a diehard Tom Holland fan?
Well, let's see. If you just really like Tom Holland, I don't know so much. But if you're like super thirsty for Tom Holland, yeah, totally. Okay. He takes his shirt off quite a few times, I think, in that movie. So yeah, definitely. If you're thirsting for the little Tom, then go for it.
Well, the little Tom. Well, it sounds
it's
like
funny because he is little. And, that might be the nickname he has for his penis. So.
This week you come with the penis.
Hey,
that didn't come from me.
We got to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah,
you can't always be the weirdo talking about penises.
We got to keep the scales balanced here.
Yeah.
The penile scales balanced. So, we'll get into the spoilery part of this, but overall, I think we're both saying
don't pay for it.
It's not worth a dime of your money, and if you catch it on HBO, great.
Sure, why not?
If you never see it, that's fine too.
That might be better. I mean, you're not missing out on anything.
You want to recap because it's fresh in your mind, Mike.
Okay, so Nathan Drake, played by Tom Holland, is like, I don't know, him and his brother are like, when they were little kids, they were into like pirates' treasures and shit, like treasure, like the idea of treasure hunting or something. I don't really fucking understand it. That's what I'm saying.
Should we also preface this with, you have not played any of Uncharted games?
I played the first one. I beat the first one, but I haven't. But then I think next they were all on PS4, or I just never really gave a shit.
Well, 2, 3, and particularly 4 goes into some of the backstory, and 4 it introduces his brother Sam.
Okay, yeah, I never knew anything about that.
Yeah. So the movie kind of pulls from bits and pieces, but mainly from the 4th.
So he's a treasure. He grows up and he's a wannabe treasure hunter. His brother gets kidnapped, or I don't fucking know. No, some shit happens. They go to steal something, and the brother's gonna get in trouble, and he like runs away from the orphanage or wherever the hell they live or something. Like, I'm telling you, it was so hard to follow because it was just, I didn't give a shit about anything that was happening in the movie.
You were bored by it?
It was so boring.
There is a shocking amount of no action in it. Like, it is action light.
There is no anything. Like, I've never seen a movie that had so much going on, but so little going on at the same time. It was so weird.
A lot of bluster and noise, but nothing
so
substantially
weird
to sink your teeth into.
It was so weird, dude. Like, I was just bored, and and I enjoy Mark Wahlberg in most things. He's funny. Like, I don't mind him. Like, some people can't stand him. You know what I mean?
I fucking hate Mark Wahlberg. Let me just put that out.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people hate Mark Wahlberg.
He was phenomenal in Boogie Nights, which is why it mystifies me that, I may be missing a role. Maybe he was good in other roles. The guy has a face that's in mid-sneeze. He has like one expression. And if you ever notice, like, he has the same fucking expression. When he's being funny, when he's being serious, when he's being deceiving, when he's lying, when he's being romantic, it's that, achoo. Like, if you just freeze frame, his face looks like a Zoom feed that's been frozen. If you ever Zoom someone in a meeting and they're like frozen mid-sneeze, that's Mark Wahlberg. I just feel like he has no range.
Oh no, absolutely. But he has zero range. He's not a good actor. I just, he's like, I just don't mind him. Like, I enjoy a lot of times he picks roles that are in movies that are fun. You know what I mean? And so I enjoy the movie, and I tend to enjoy him in it. You know what I mean?
That said, I will say him and Holland, I think, had some chemistry. And at the end, he got the Sully mustache.
Oh, yeah.
That's so iconic. It was
funny.
Like a little teaser at the end.
I like Mark Wahlberg. I like Tom Holland. Antonio Banderas basically plays like the
oh yeah, I forgot he's in it. Now I'm looking at the poster. He's
the descendant of the guy whose treasure they're trying to
he's in it for a hot second or halfway through. That's another issue
he dies halfway through. He gets murdered by his minions or something halfway. It was just like all over the place.
His second in command murders him, becomes like the main bad guy, and I don't know who the actress is, and I'm not even gonna really blame her. I think she's thinking how it was written, but she was not a good bad guy.
No,
like
there was,
and first you have a movie one half. This is the bad guy, and it's fucking Antonio Banderas. He brings gravitas. Then you kill him, and your final fight is with his minion that takes over. Like, it's so unfocused, but
it really is. It's all over the place. Like, the Sully guy played by Mark Wahlberg, like, he never committed, right? He never committed to being like a turncoat douchebag. It was always back and forth. He could never really tell if he was a good guy or a bad guy. Like, in the first game, he gets betrayed by Sully. Like, full on betrayed. You know what I mean? And so I was hoping that I was like, oh, Mark Wahlberg's going to be the good guy, and then at the end he's going to betray him, right? And I was hoping that was going to happen, because then you would have stakes, you'd have emotion in that situation. But if he's always going back and forth, and you meet like this girl who's worked with Sully, and she's like, oh, you can't trust Sully, he doesn't have any friends, he's just, he'll betray you at any moment. And you're like, well, okay, so now we know that he's just kind of a douchebag and he can betray anyone at any moment. So you're expecting it, and he's going back and forth. And so I think they were trying to make you be like, oh, at the end, he helped him, he actually is a good guy, kind of thing. And I'm like, that is the exact opposite of what I wanted. Like, I want him to be his senpai, you know what I mean? Like, his Obi-Wan. And then at the very end, he fucking betrays him, and that's gonna hurt, you know what I mean? That's gonna hit you right in the feels. And the way they did it, it was just like, I don't care. I'm like, of course he fucking helped him at the end. Because the whole idea is he's going back and forth the whole time. It's like, fucking hell, man. Like, it was just so boring.
Basically, he lied to Nathan Drake. He was somehow involved with Nathan's brother's death, but he kept that from Nathan and was using the brother's death as like a carrot to get him to go along an adventure. Because when we meet Nathan Drake, he's not an adventurer. He's like working as a bartender, and I can't remember. Had he been on? I don't think he had been.
Maybe
on
you're right, dude. I think you're right, and he just like he piqued his interest. You know
who you're reminding me of? Remember Mac from Crystal Skull, which was a horrible character. Who was like, he double-crossed Indy, then he was on Indy's side, then he double-crossed him again. And
I was trying to think what it reminded me of. It reminded me of Crystal Skull. Mm-hmm. The same sort of, it's all over the place. You don't know what, like, stupid, like, action scenes that come out of nowhere that have served no purpose. I don't know, man. It was all around not a good movie, and I couldn't care about anything.
The history of this was Mark Wahlberg. He was going to star as Nathan Drake. This film has been, on the stove simmering for almost 10 years.
Why didn't he?
I think he aged out. And they wanted someone younger. Boy, did they go younger.
Yeah, like they picked someone who's like, 25 and looks like he's 12.
Let me say this. I think Nathan Drake was miscast.
No shit.
That said, Tom Holland has that rare thing, and hopefully he'll retain it, where he's just likable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you just root for the guy.
Yeah.
I still don't think he should have been Nathan Drake.
No way.
As the movie went along, I'm like, okay, I'll go along with it. And that's the other thing. It's one of these films that Nathan Drake didn't really become the iconic Nathan Drake till the end. He gets like the bandoleros, or the, what do you call it, the gun straps. I will say the end sequence with the ship swinging, ridiculous as it is, it was kind of fun. Yeah. And I think that was more indicative. And the cars and the falling from the cargo plane, that's straight from the third game. That is a complete playable sequence.
Well, you know what I thought was really weird? And literally it could have taken 15 seconds to do it, and I don't know why they didn't do it, was they opened the movie... right, with Tom Holland, his foot like trapped in the net, and him falling out of the sky and like waking up, and then having to deal with this fight scene. Right? Mm-hmm. He never got knocked out in the fights in that scene later on in the movie. He gets his foot caught, but he's awake the whole time, and he goes and then goes on with the rest of the fight. I'm like, literally, all they had to do. Dude, 10 seconds, right? All they had to do is his foot gets stuck. You see his head slam back in the thing, and just, and you hear a ringing, ring, and everything goes white. And then it kind of slowly fades back. The audio comes back. You're like, oh, and then you go on with the fight. Literally 10 seconds, and it would have made it. I don't know. Maybe I'm too. I don't know. It just felt like an inconsistency.
But that's a sign of a movie that, again, it goes back. It didn't have enough action. It didn't have enough great set pieces. It opened with that because that was one of its two big main pieces.
Sure.
Right? So it's deceptive. Like, holy shit, I get it. I get the logic. Like, oh, let's start. Well, how the hell did he get to this situation?
Yeah, but I'm
leading up to that, there was nothing as epic or nothing like the games. The games are very... It's almost like the first Indiana Jones movie. Like every 15 minutes or 10 minutes, you're in a scenario.
Right.
You're in an action piece, and that's kind of the expectations I had, and I just felt bored.
Yeah, I was bored the whole time.
A Nathan Drake movie should not be boring.
I'm pretty sure I had to go back and watch the end the next day because I fell asleep. I'm pretty sure that happened. No, I'm positive that happened.
If you want to see a good Nathan Drake film, the fan film with Nathan Fillion, who everyone wanted to see as Nathan Drake, and he doesn't have the star power, and he's probably aged out of the role by this point. But did you ever see that fan film?
No.
It's incredible, dude. I'll send you a link to it.
Oh, so it's like a fan film made by professionals.
It stars Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion is Nathan Drake. And it's super funny.
How long is it?
15, 20 minutes.
Okay, I'll watch it. Fine.
It's totally worth it. Dude, I guarantee you, once you watch it, you're going to be more pissed at this movie.
Well,
because in 20 minutes, they nailed the action, the comedy, Because Nathan Drake is kind of like Han Solo. He's like
but
a
also
smart
Nathan
alecky.
Fillion's funny. Like, he's a funny guy. You know what I mean? Like, he knows how to deliver that sort of dry humor that I think the game... I mean, I only played the one game, and I played it 10 fucking years ago. You know, I played it when it first came out.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't really remember it that well, but I do... I have seen trailers since then that have had some of the jokes in it here and there. So I do know a little bit about it. And I feel like Nathan Fillion probably could deliver that because that's how he delivers his jokes anyways. It's very similar to how Nathan Drake does.
Yeah, like, he's a scruffy ruffigan. He is their version of Indiana Jones. That's what everyone loves about Indiana Jones. He's a seasoned guy. I don't know if anyone, maybe a younger kid could look at Tom Holland and... Man, he's so cool as probably. I don't know. He's such a baby face, though.
A young kid would, because, you know, while he does have a baby face, you know, kids look at him and they're like, you know, he's an adult, you know, like a kid would think he looks like an adult. Anyone above, you know, the age of 21 is like, God, that kid's young. You know what I mean?
And he's likable.
He's very likable.
Again, I mean, it's hard to hate on Tom Holland. So
yeah. So basically, what happens is there's these they find these two ships from this guy who like stole all this fucking gold.
It's filled with like treasure, right?
Tons, like billions of dollars of worth of treasure. And instead of just taking all the gold, they want the ships too, the bad guys, because the ships are worth money too. You know what I mean? And so they dig under the ships and put these ropes under the ships and then bring these big old, you know, cargo helicopters over to lift the ships out of this, you know, hole that they're in, right? Or whatever the hell. And Mark Wahlberg takes over the helicopter of one of them, and he's flying one ship and the bad guy's flying the other ship, and they're like flying into each other and stuff. It's a cool set piece, man. It is a cool scene. I mean,
like when I saw it, I
guess my problem,
I want to play that.
yeah, that's actually pretty cool. But I will say my problem with it was a little too over the top for me at that point because I wasn't into the movie. If you get to a point and you're like, why the hell is this happening? It's because the movie isn't good enough. A good enough movie that you're into, it's going to be able to sell anything to you. You're just going to let anything go. You know what I mean? Because you're into the movie. And that's why it doesn't matter what the hell your movie is about. It has to be a good movie before you can start putting in all these crazy effects things and shit blowing up. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's just, you know, window dressing and nothing behind it.
Well, because here's the problem with starting Nathan Drake out. This is his first adventure. There's no basis or reason for him to be so good.
Yeah.
He's almost perfect out the box.
Yeah.
Like the only challenge is him not knowing if he could trust Sully. But in terms of physicality, in terms of being this brilliant guy who can figure out, I mean, they kind of explain the way he's into like ancient shit, and there's like a little scene in the game, the orphanage. But I'm sitting here thinking, like, so how did he get this good at this? Like, and I get the impression that he hadn't gone on any treasure hunts. Like, maybe I missed something.
No, I don't think you missed anything. I think you're right. Like,
this is why you start him as a season. Again, not to compare him to Indy, but Indiana Jones, he starts out as a seasoned guy.
Yeah.
You learn about him as he's doing his shit, and he's completely believable because he's not some youngin'. He's not some whippersnapper. You change the script and just take out the part that he's new to this. Maybe he's just a junior. He's already a junior adventurer. Sully's like, hey, that's small potatoes. Instead of him working as a waiter, he's doing little minor excursions into finding relics. But, you know, he's a bit over his head, and Sully's his way to the big leagues, right? And that's the pitch. If they kept the script as it is, kept the premise as is, give me some decent action.
Yeah.
Like you said, the going back and forth, can you trust Sully, can you not Sully? You could do that, maybe. You could keep that, but give me some fun, entertaining shit going on while that's happening. Be clever and inventive. All you got to do is look at the game. Even if you stole like scenes from the game, like, which would be lazy, but I mean, it's right there. Like you have tons of set pieces, but it's probably because they didn't have the budget. You know what I mean? Like it probably took a lot of their budget just to get Tom Holland nailed down. And I think the film did okay, actually. Dude, it made $395 million on a budget of $120. Oh yeah. There'll be a 2. And maybe in 2, they could just get right to it and they'll get more budget and they can fucking give us a better action movie. He puts butts in the seat. My daughter, my 11-year-old, loves him.
Everyone loves him.
She thinks he's dreamy.
Like you said, everyone loves Tom Holland.
She wanted to see Uncharted. She doesn't give a shit about the games. She wanted to see Tom Holland.
I bet.
So there you go. And I could sit here and be a curmudgeon and should have heard Nathan Fillion. But look, I get it. You're a studio. You got to have the hot new thing. Yeah. And Tom Holland is super likable. Just fucking give us some action, man. Like fulfill that promise at least.
Absolutely.
Like what was in there was sparing, and most of it was unimaginative. I mean, the fight they went to some ball, some gala, and there was a little bit of combat. That was fine. But Uncharted is known for its set pieces, right?
Yeah.
It's grand, and not everything has to be this epic set piece. But think of like Indiana Jones, like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You can think about that movie and you think about the Nepal bar fight.
Right.
Or you think about the crowded market chase.
Or Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, I think you think of the boulder at the very beginning.
Well, you can think of the boulder. Some people may think of the truck chase. You may think of the tomb and the snakes.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. It should be such a unique situation. And that doesn't mean big.
Right.
It just means memorable.
And stakes, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You need fucking stakes. And, with all this built-in likability that Tom Holland has, it's amazing that they weren't able to build any stakes around this guy. Because you never really felt like he was in trouble. For a movie that's been in the making for 10 years, how is it so bad? You know what I mean?
Well,
how do you have 10 years to work on the script and still make such a bad movie?
My dear Watson, it's right there in front of you. When the movie starts, what do you see? You see the word Sony. Sony makes shit. Sony could take a really good character and ram it into the ground. Think there's a bunch of suits over there and they check boxes, but none of them have any joy, no fandom, no connection to the material. And look, and they're proven right. It made $395 million and it's a turd.
Yeah.
But a turd with a likable center.
Jesus Christ.
Tom Holland is likable. All the action, all the notable moments are in the trailer. There's no surprises, right? You see the ship swinging, the cars falling out, and those are really the 2 big set pieces. And then there's a little bit of fighting in the black tie affair. But I was going to say, I'm tired of this. I don't want to see how Nathan Drake became Nathan Drake, at least not out the box.
Yeah.
Save some mystery, right?
Yeah.
And then have some revealing moments with the character as we go through this journey. Because that's what's compelling. Yeah. To learn about this guy, right? Yeah. Learn about him through his enemies. Learn about him through his past relationships.
Then you get that's the whole thing. Like that sort of character, like a swashbuckling sort of treasure hunter. You want them to be mysterious. You want them to be kind of ruthless, but also kind of debonair. Look what I mean?
Look at fucking Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
The first scene with Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow was amazing. You see him on this mast, and you don't see the rest of the boat, and he's looking regal, and then you pull, wide shot, the boat's fucking sinking.
Yeah, I know.
Right? And he steps on the dock, and he's drunk. Like, great. I don't want to know how he became that way. Like, he's fully formed.
That's all I need.
Yeah, that's all I need, man. And then we learned about, and it works. That worked. You didn't need to know who fucking Jack Sparrow was as a young pirate. You know what they could have done? I'm already fixing this movie. you start off Nathan Drake already a treasure seeker, but he's low level fruit. He's he's not part of a group or an organization.
Sure.
He's kind of a lone gun. The girl who ends up being the bad guy is actually maybe his partner in the beginning.
Sure. Yeah.
And she brings him into the fold with Antonio Banderas as part of this bigger group. Sully enters the picture. He's like, you don't want to trust that guy. Like, who the fuck are you? I don't trust you. Like, your brother did. Like, there's this. So we're off and running, and you get like the double crossing stuff that you were talking about. But this is through Nathan's. The audience is Nathan's perspective.
Yeah.
Right. We don't know who to trust because Nathan doesn't know who to trust. And you can have a nice little betrayal at the end or near the end with the girl, or maybe she kills Antonio Banderas as she does, but Nathan's her partner, right? And she's got this big, ambitious plan that he doesn't agree with.
Yeah.
So now they're enemies, right?
Yeah.
But you develop them as partners in the opening adventure, little mini adventure, James Bond style. Mm-hmm. And then the movie actually begins with this bigger adventure. And through the course of it, alliances change and shift. And by the end, he's with Sully. They don't quite trust each other, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of deal. And then it maybe in 2, they develop more of a bond and it's more earned or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there you go. Like you're taking plot points of the movie, but he's already an adventure guy. He's got the bandoliers. He's already the Nathan.
He's already Nathan Drake.
Right. But he's still an inexperienced Nathan Drake, right?
Sure.
But that doesn't mean he's completely new to the, and that would explain why he's fucking amazing. Like he's doing acrobatic shit and fighting and jumping, and this guy was a bartender when we met him. Like, where did all that come from? Like, you just like with Raiders, just like with James Bond, you explain all the way through action. Like, this is why, right? This guy's capable of doing stuff like this. And then, like you said, you learn through the fucking story as the story unravels. Yep. We learned so much about Indiana Jones in that first bit in Raiders. It completely set up everything you need to know about his character for the rest of the movie. And then the movie starts.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, and you learn more throughout the movie, too, about him.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Through relationships, through Marion.
Yep.
Through his relationship with Belloc. Marcus Brody. Like, yeah. I just hope they do better for the second one.
Well, it's hard to do much worse. I say that now, right? But then it comes out and it's literally a steaming pile of fucking dog shit.
Well, unfortunately, the logic could be, well, why we raise the budget? We've proven people will go see it.
Yeah.
So let's just, let's not, go overboard here. Let's end with two really big things, and then we'll lead up with some smaller things. And smaller is not necessarily bad. But make every action scene iconic.
Make me give a shit.
Right. Exactly.
I'll tell you what, I'm giving this 2. This gets 2 stars because I was bored. I didn't care. I fell asleep.
2 feels about right.
Yeah, it's me. A 2. It's definitely a deuce. I had to draw. It's dropping a deuce. Dropping a deuce.
So your official.
It's a steaming pile of shit. Like, yeah.
I'll give it two Mark Wahlberg scowls out of 5.
I can't. It's so bad. Like, it's so empty. I can't even think of like something funny to give it, like to change the stars into. You know what I mean? It's that bad. You know what I mean? Like. How
about 2 Bobby Cannavale dicks out of 5 normal size dicks?
So it's a 5, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm really saying. Yeah, I just wanted to say we're probably the only guys on the planet that started talking about Physical, the show, and ended on dongs in Hollywood. The path from A to B is shrouded in mystery.
Shit.
Just like you shouldn't look too long into the sun, maybe we shouldn't know if Bobby Cannavale has a fake stage schlong.
I mean,
let some myth stand, Mike. Let someone believe in a unicorn out there somewhere.
How did we even get on the topic of penises?
Wait, where'd you find all the other dong? Is it Mr. Dong? Like Mr.
No,
Skin?
no, it was just a random website. Like,
sure, random. Just a random website saved in my favorites. You know, that old chestnut.
You fucking asshole.
Papa, tell me again about how the large penises are fake. Oh, come here, little Mikey. Again with this? About 3 bears for once. No, Papa. I want to hear about Hollywood fake penises.
You're killing me, dude.
Cue the fireplace.